Welcome back to another episode of Drive Time. Hope everybody's having an awesome day. I know I am. I just got off work and it's about 70 degrees, but man, let me tell you, this weather, this is probably the wackiest weather that I've ever seen. If you watched my episode of Drive Time yesterday, you'd notice that I was in a sweater and a jacket. It was like 30 degrees. Now it's 70 degrees. It was freezing this morning. It was like 30. It was below freezing this morning. I think it was 30 degrees when I left the house. Truck was all frosted up. I had to let it warm up. And now driving home, it's like I don't even need a jacket. It's gotten so warm. It's like been a 40-degree temperature difference. But it's just crazy to me personally. I can't believe that it has changed this much with such a short amount of time. But I'm happy that it's getting warmer. That's always better, and we'll be able to go camping soon. I know I've talked about that a whole lot recently. But anyways, what I want to talk about in this video is what I'm driving right now. This is a Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi 4-wheel drive. It's like the quad cab, I think. There's like 3 different 4-door options. You've got the quad cab, the crew cab, and the mega cab. The mega cab being the biggest, and I think the crew cab is like just a normal size, and then the quad cab is a little bit smaller. That's what I have, but it still has plenty of room and people can fit back there, so it all works out. And I do have to say that I'm in no way trying to brag, because this is a new truck. I did buy it brand new. I did buy it with my own money. I am an adult, have a job, have my own house. Just want to get that kind of stuff out of the way, and I am not trying to brag. I'm not trying to talk up myself. I just want to share like why I like this truck. Like if you're looking to get a new truck, this is the truck that I would recommend. And I've got a few reasons for that, and I've also feel like I'm pretty well versed in being able to say like why I think this is one of the best trucks. It's definitely the best truck I've ever owned, and I do believe it's probably the best truck that I've ever driven. Now, you may think, oh, well, you might not have drove that much stuff. Well, when I was in high school, I worked at a Ford dealership, and we worked on just about every make and model of vehicle you can imagine outside of Ford, which does sound kind of weird, but people just would bring us anything and we would change the oil on it. It didn't matter if it was GM, Toyota, Honda, Mazda. If it came in, we'd change a little of it and we'd put a motorcraft filter on it. We'd put whatever fit on it, and that's what we would do. So I've driven a lot of different trucks, drove a ton of Fords. Up until buying this truck, I'd actually drove Fords all my life. And then a couple years ago, I actually drove a used 2007, I think, somewhere in there, Dodge Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi. It was actually an older version of the motor with a little bit less horsepower, but I fell in love with that truck, fell in love with the way it fit me, like how big it was in the cab, how much power and acceleration it had, for really not being that much more than a truck with just a standard V8. The price is about the same, but then you get so much more power for what you're doing. This truck has 395 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque, so I mean it is a monster compared to like what you could get in like a Ford V8, which would probably be maybe mid 300s in horsepower. It still gets awesome gas mileage. But anyways, I've driven a lot of trucks. I had an F-150, a couple Ford Rangers. I've driven my dad's F-250. He had a 99 F-250 with the 5.4 Triton motor in it, which felt fast at the time, but now after driving this, it's just feeling like a normal truck. I've driven a lot of Toyotas. I had a buddy that had a Toyota Tacoma. He had a new one, and his dad had like an older 90s one, drove both of them. Great trucks, last forever, run great, hardly ever have any problems, but they still don't compare to this truck. I am a bigger guy. I'm 6'6", so I need something with a little bit more room. This truck, I have a ton of room. I can stretch out. I feel like I've got a lot of space all around me. I love the size of the bed in comparison to like a Tacoma, and the price is a lot more affordable than a Tacoma. I actually got this in December, so it was right as they were doing their year-end sale, so I got a really good discount on that already, which made it super affordable. And then for me, super affordable. I know that varies depending on how much money you make, but for me, it was very affordable for what I was getting. It was on point with a lot of the used vehicles that I was looking at. It was very closely priced, so I just decided to go ahead and get the new one. I've never had any issues so far. I put 6,000 miles on it, drove it to Florida and back, and the only issue I had was that I ran over some sort of screw or something in the road and had to get a tire patched, but no other issues besides that. But like I was saying, it's got a lot of power, it's got a lot of room. The four-wheel drive works great, it's all push button. The only thing that's taken me a little while to get used to is that the park, like where you change it from park to drive or reverse, that's a knob that you spin instead of it being like a normal shifter like I was used to. Depending on what model you get, that could be different. You could have like a shifter like in the center console. This one actually just has the fold down seat, but there's a lot of different options you can get. But that's one thing that's been a little weird to me. It's got the touch screen stuff, which all works great. I love the look of this truck a lot more than I liked than the Fords. The Fords have the new C style head. Like to me, they look like they're two C's pointing towards each other. Don't really like that a whole lot. This truck's actually the red with the black emblems and black rims, so I think it just really makes the truck look great. And I just don't know if I could find another truck that was on point with it. This truck doesn't drive like a truck. That's something I haven't mentioned yet. One thing that I noticed, because right before I got this truck, I had a Ford Ranger that actually got in an accident. I was rear-ended by my own wife. She wasn't mad at me. There's another whole story on that I think I've talked about a little bit before, but if you guys want to know more about it, we can get into it. I'll make another video. Just let me know in the comments. But anyways, I had a Ford Ranger. It felt like a truck. It just felt like a scaled down truck when you would drive it. You know, rough suspension, and it was older, but you could really tell, like, oh man, this is a truck. Through and through, this is a truck. This truck right here, sometimes driving it, you forget that it's a truck. It feels like a car. It's kind of like driving a Charger, you know, like the Dodge Charger. It's big, but it handles great, it drives well, the acceleration's really awesome. It's got a great sound, and I mean, I'm averaging about 20 miles to the gallon normally. I let it warm up this morning, so it's at 19.3, which is a little lower than what I'm normally getting. But I mean, for the most part, the gas mileage is amazing for as big of a truck as it is. The only thing that I haven't done with this truck yet is tow with it. I bought an option that didn't come with the trailer hitch area in the back. It's got where you can put it on the bumper, but I want to get the actual mount underneath. And it's not really been the time to tow yet. I've not really had a chance to take out the boat, but once I do that, if you guys are interested, I can let you know how it towed. But just from driving it around daily, I'll go ahead and tell you that I have no worries about it towing. Another cool thing, the back seat folds completely up and has some storage bays under there. So I always end up keeping a bunch of stuff. I've got a tackle box, a collapsible fishing pole, 4 fly rods right now with like a fly vest, some tie down straps. It's awesome to have that amount of storage in there. But if you guys have any questions about the truck, if you want to know anything more, if you're interested in buying one of these trucks and you've got questions about it, let me know down below in the comments and I'll be sure to let you know. But and if you're new to this series, this is drive time. I normally talk on my drive home from work, and when I get home, that's when it's time to stop. So we're made at home. If you guys have any questions though, please be sure to just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them either in another video if we get enough questions, or I'll just respond to you directly in the comments. Anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and God bless.